Welcome to Fun Art at Home, your paint kit that you get to do at home. So let's grab your apron and let's get ready to paint Clarabelle. This is going to be so fun. So here's a playlist that you can play while we paint along together. And then here's a QR code so you can look at the example. Okay, so we're going to get started. I did on this one, I was testing actually printing very lightly the image on the canvas, so I'm not sure if yours will be just a sketch or if it will be this, but don't be distracted by seeing my image printed there. So we're gonna start with the background, and this is gonna be a lot of white and very little blue. Okay, the lighter the blue that you could make the background, the more realistic it's gonna be. And keep in mind that when you are painting something that is pre-sketched on a canvas, you want to make sure you go all the way up there to the edge, and even overlap part of the cow, because then that way we can paint the cow back over the background later, which will bring the cow back to the front. So I even overlap a lot of the things. So the things that are sketched on your canvas, you're going to cover them right up, like the grass that's in Clarabelle's mouth, things like that, little whiskers. You're not going to paint around any of those sketches that you see on your pre-sketched canvas. You're going to paint over them, and it's okay. We'll add them back on when we get to that point in the painting, and that also helps make this artwork yours, because you don't have to follow along the lines that I created for you. The key to the background is more white, very little blue. I'm just waiting to see what I'm doing. Okay, so I have now gotten my browns dispersed. And it looks like I am using the lighter tan that is in your kit with white, and then now I'm using very, very little white and the pink that's in your kit. So now we're just going to pick the, I'm going to make this lip just a little bit darker than the muzzle was. What do you call a cow's nose? I don't know. Anyway, so we're just gonna go ahead and now we're painting all of the neck just a darker brown. Here's the thing, your cow can be different than mine, so I've given you colors. You can decide what color you want the neck to be, the nose to be. Maybe your cow will be black and white. I don't know. But what I'm doing right now is I'm adding this shadow underneath the chin. So whatever color you use for your neck, you're going to go ahead and make it darker right there under the lip. And so that will give some depth, and it'll make the nose look like it's coming out further. Now we're going to pick which brown you want or which color you want, and we're just going to go ahead and fill in the ears. And you'll note that I don't really mix my colors. I will dip my brush in two different colors, so it's not solid. And so right now what I'm doing is going back and adding a little bit more darkness. So I'll usually, and I'm just highlighting the top part of that ear so it looks like it's curling. And then anytime your brush comes in contact with the edge of your canvas, carry the paint around the sides. So now I'm using pretty much the pure burnt sienna, I think it's called, and we're going to go right over that head. Notice how I kept it really dark there at the edge between the sky and the head, and that just really helps give it contrast. So now I'm going around those eyes and making it a little bit light in the middle. We need more shadow under the chin. You know, likely in a real photo, this would be almost black, but that would look, it doesn't work for us with art. So we're just getting that really, really dark so you can see that there's a shadow under that chin there. So one of the most important things in your painting is to have dark darks and light lights. So always look at your art and add more dark and light. And so now we're going to use your fine line brush, and we're going to just outline your eyes and then the eyelid there. And I'll fill in the eye, and we're going to fill in the nose. And it's kind of, this reminded me of an apostrophe or a comma. We'll just fill that in, and you can leave little white gaps there, or if you accidentally fill it all the way in, you can, once the black dries, you can always go back and add little white highlights on the eyes and the nose. So the mouth, the lip there, I decided to make, add some gray to it, because the lip, I mean, I was looking at a picture of a cow, and that's what they do. So adding just a little bit of gray on top. I'm just going back, and really when I'm painting, I'm always looking for dark darks and light lights. And we may know that it's a solid brown cow, but the light and shadows will always make a big difference. So here I've gone back and I'm adding a little bit of white to the nose, outlining the outside of the face. You can always pause this video if you need to catch up. Obviously this is a very quick version. So right in here, the cow had black, which ends up being more gray. So I'm just kind of blotting white and your Payne's gray, and then going along the sides of the face just to bring that in. But this is just, they're just little pockets of color. So try not to think about this as a nose. Just look at where we're putting the color. Now we're kind of outlining that bottom lip, which is really accentuating. And look, it's so many, there's layers when you're painting. So we're just going to blend that Payne's gray in a little bit on the lip too. And when you paint in layers like this, what it does is it gives it authenticity, and it makes it look a little bit more realistic. So we're just going to add in, so I added some white, and then now I'm just going to blot in and make that nose just a little bit more pink in spots. Remember, it doesn't have to be a solid pink nose, but here's the thing: if it's your style that your cow is more all solid colors, that's going to look just as good. So don't fight your own style. Look at there, we're adding some of that Payne's gray or the black right directly underneath that chin. So we did get there. And I don't know if you can tell, but I'm narrating this like a month after I actually painted it. So I'm with you. I'm kind of on the edge of my seat trying to figure out what I'm doing. But I do believe we are mixing a very dark, oh, here's what I did here. I mixed water with my dark brown, and I probably put a little bit of gray because I wanted it to be really dark. But when you mix water and get it to like a thin consistency, like the consistency of yogurt or ink, then and use your little brush, it's easier to make little hairs. And what I do is I just touch and I kind of just flick, so the end of my lines are smaller than the beginning of my lines. So we're just putting some highlights around on different features to make them pop. Looks like I'm putting some gray there in the eye, and then adding some eyelashes. Putting some of the gray there in the above the eye, so you can kind of outline the ear, and then I know that ear was turned, so that's why it looks like that. And then we're gonna, looks like I decided I wanted to change the ear altogether. It happens. So I just added some darkness to it. It's the quintessential make it up as you go along, and you can do the exact same thing, even though you're painting from our kit. This is your painting, so you can do it how you want. So it looks like I wanted the inside of the ear to be darker, and over here I'm making the hair lighter. Now I'm going back in and adding some darker hairs as well. Looks like I decided to give her some bushy eyebrows and eyelashes. There's the eyelashes. The eyebrows got really bushy. Okay, and so here what we're doing, this might be something that is optional, but this cow had a speckled pink nose and it was speckled with black. So you're just going to, you know, put little spots here and there, and they don't need to make any sense. But if you wanted to have like a cute, you could give it like a cute little heart there or something. Also, this black that I'm using for the whiskers, I know I thinned it down. It's either the Payne's Gray in your kit or black, and I know I thinned it down with water, because anytime you want to get those really thin lines, your paint needs to be thinned down, because just thicker paint, I give you, we use almost a professional grade paint, and it's thicker. And it's never going to make these long, crisp lines if it is the way it is when it comes out of the package. So you're going to need to thin it down. So this, what I want you to do here is just make 3. I like to do things in 3s. So 3 long lines. They can go wherever you want. To decide where you want to put your lines, a lot of times I'll do it in the air first. And then to finish it, you're going to, I did those kind of dark brown, but then I'm using the yellow ochre or the lighter of your brown, and we're just making little lines toward the end to make our little grass. And then one of the pieces of grass is going to just have a bunch of little spots at the end. So you can decide how you want to do that, and you could make yours green if you want. But usually that kind of grass out here in the plains is brown. So it looks like I'm fluffing up her eye a little bit. Oh, and we have to have a little poof of hair on the head. But again, you're going to mix that paint with some water so you can get those little thin poofs. Add some little fuzz on the top of her head, a little highlight to above the nose to help it stand out, and some little hairs. This is where I like, if there's a spot on the cow that I don't love, I'll go add hair to it. You can't go wrong with some fluffy hairs. And then now I've gone over that. I think I thought it was too strong, so I went back over it with some white just to thin the top knot off. And I'm now putting some little white hairs inside the ears. And see that how we did so many hairs in the ears of different colors, but it really, the layer of it makes it look realistic. And I just know that there was like some moist and drooling happen with the cow, so like I put some little white there at the bottom of the nose. And then now I want that bottom lip. The bottom lip was like my favorite thing with this cow. And I'm adding the spots that were on there. I was just looking at the light, and it looks like I took the cow's lip all the way gray. I was non-committal with the lip. And there you go. There is Clarabelle. I hope you've enjoyed this. So once you're finished painting it, make sure that you go back to the QR code and you upload your pictures to our space that we share together. And then like and follow us on Facebook at Fun Art Class and on Instagram at Fun Art at Home. And even share on social media. But we had a blast. I hope you had a blast too. And if you ever have questions about your painting along the way, feel free to reach